Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and non-Toastmasters, and anyone to session 17 of the engagement room with our special speaker, Victoria Trabosh, executive coach. And I am very, very happy to meet her, listen to her story, and actually invite her to be our host this time for this session because, every session is special, but I'm definitely looking forward to this message. I know that based upon her bio, there might be some things that she said that people don't necessarily want to touch upon, but that's okay. That's from her perspective. So let's do a little bit of a bio on her. She says we often shy away from conversations about the end of life, yet it's the one certainty we all share. Today, we have the privilege of welcoming Victoria to guide us through the deeply profound topic of dying well. She explores this inevitable journey not with fear, but with a remarkable intention and strength. She challenges us to reframe our perspective, showing how embracing our mortality can empower us to live rightfully right now, fully right now. Her insights offer a compassionate roadmap for navigating life's final chapter with dignity, courage, and grace. Please welcome our speaker tonight, Victoria Trabosh. Title of the presentation is Dying Well.
Thank you, Tim, and thank you to all who are online and all who listen around the world. Tonight, I want you to think about something. How meticulously do we prepare for weddings, vacations, or even dinner parties, but rarely for the one event we all know is coming, our own death? Dying well isn't about being morbid. It's about living fully until the very end. If you came tonight, you may just be curious about this topic. Most of you, I pray, are not here thinking about your own mortality. But I hope this message can help you if you have someone else in your life facing their mortality. Now, this may be a little too much for some of you. If it is, I understand. I reposted Tim's ad on Facebook, and a friend wrote and said, I can't do this, Vicky. It triggers too much. I will not be following. I understand. But for those of you who can listen, I hope my humor lands lightly, that it lightens the mood a little bit, and that you understand. I know this is no laughing matter, but I also know the joy in our life cannot be minimized by the topics that we face. I'm going to go through this presentation tonight using 3 key powers that can help us die well: the power of focus and faith, the power of partnership, and the power of no. My story began in 2014 when I found a little lump in my cheek, and it was biopsied and diagnosed as squamous cell cancer. I had it removed, and then I had a little one on my upper lip, took that off. Everything was going great. And then in March of 2015, I kind of just knew, you know. And I thought, I think this cancer's back. And I had a little knot right kind of below my nose. And I went in, and sure enough, it was cancer. Now, this time, there's something called, if you've heard of the word standard of care, that is care that is, it's almost like they open a book, they go, let's see, lip cancer. Okay, here's what we're going to do. That's called the standard of care. And the standard of care for my cancer, and I got to tell you, the surgeon was really excited about doing this, because if you know a surgeon, you know they love to cut. He goes, now, Vic, here's what we're going to do. We're going to cut off your upper lip, take your lower lip, or frill it up, zip it together, or like this. And then when we open your mouth, you'll have no corners, and your lips, your mouth will be 30 to 40% smaller. To which I gently replied, I'm going to look like a freaking blowfish. That's what I saw. And he goes, and I did not use the word fricking, but I am cleaning it up for this presentation, which I always do. And he said, well, you won't look the same, but you can get plastic surgery. And I said, no, you're not going to do that to me. I said, I am nothing if not a voice for the women of Rwanda. You see, I started a foundation for Rwanda in 2005 and have been there 13 times. And Sister Madugadu, who is Sarah, who's on the line, has been with me. And my other friend, Julie, who's on the line, has been to Rwanda and Uganda. And you know that when you can touch another's life, you have no choice but to do it. And so I had been going to Rwanda. And when I said, I am nothing if not a voice, the surgeon said, fine, you'll die. I said, fine. And I walked out. My husband, John, who you'll hear about tonight, came running after me. And I said, John, I'm not doing it. And he found another surgeon. Standard of care, same surgery. But I said to Brian Bell, my surgeon at Providence, I said, Brian, you cannot cut off my mouth. I am nothing if not a voice for the women of Rwanda. And he said, okay, there's only one other option I have, and it's radiation. And if it works, it's going to be really rough. So I began a series of 36 radiation treatments. It was really rough, and it worked. The tumor receded. I had a tumor growing so big out of my mouth, you couldn't see my upper teeth. And I'm walking around going, I don't think it looks so bad, do you? And it looked really bad. The tumor receded, and for a while, nothing was going on. But over the years, I have had about 8 different incidences of cancer. And the first time it's hard, the second time it's hard, you end up getting weary of these incidents. I've had my palate removed. 3 years ago, I had a massive surgery where I was in intensive care for 8 days, had my lower jaw affected. They paralyzed my face accidentally, but I could still talk. The thing I know about suffering, and I learned this from a movie director who I interviewed for my master's at Harvard on child soldiers. We were talking about child soldiers, and I said to Brian, I said, how do you handle the suffering? And he looked at me and he said, Vicky, all suffering is impermanent. And that became my clarion call. And I really feel that way. So yes, I have suffered, but I know it's impermanent. And this last incident started about in February. They found more cancer on my upper mouth. I've also had my upper teeth removed because of the radiation from 12 years ago. And I've got implants. And they found more cancer in my upper jaw, a tumor growing. And then I was diagnosed with stage 4 bone cancer. That is inoperable in my book. The surgery they suggested, another standard of care, was to remove my fibula from my leg, rebuild my jaw, and for 6 weeks, 6 months, I would have no teeth. And then in 6 months, maybe I would get a new set of teeth and implants. And I said, no, that's not for me. So I feel like this could be my final act. And yet I am facing it as I've always faced cancer, with strength and resilience and faith. And I want to talk about the 3 powers that I believe affect us. The power of focus and faith is the first one I mentioned. And what we focus on shapes our experiences. Now, if you've ever tried to assemble an IKEA furniture without focus, you know how quickly things can fall apart, literally. And life's no different. We have to focus on the disease or the terrible thing that's going on. And I think the more we focus on it, the quicker we get through it. I use the buffalo as an example of facing storms. Buffaloes, when they're on the Great Plains, they see a storm coming. Most animals run to hide. You know what the buffalo does? It charges the storm, knowing it will get through it quicker if it faces it. than the storm chasing them for the rest of the time. So I am like the buffalo. In Rwanda, we call it Imbogo, because what 68-year-old woman wants to be called a buffalo? But you can call me Mama Imbogo. I love that. And Sarah, again, knows that term. We've talked about it often. And when you focus on what's really happening, you find that many things that you expected to happen didn't. They're not as bad as you thought they would be, or they're not the solution is different than you thought it would be. Now, I have watched about 65 people die in the last 30 years. I was a guardian conservator for the elderly, and I had the great honor of being with people in the last moments of their life. I learned so much. I've watched people die with dignity. I've watched them die in fear. And I always decided, this was started in my late 20s. So in my early 30s, I knew I can learn a lesson. Now, the other great thing, and if there's a great thing, is you go to a lot of funerals. I have picked up so many ideas for my own funeral. I have a list of like, poor John, 50 songs. Because I'll hear a good song at a funeral and go, oh, I like that song. So I write them all down. And I told John one day, I said, John, I got a list of songs. He goes, how many you got? I go, I got about 50. He goes, Vicky, this isn't going to be a concert. It's going to be your memorial. I said, so, okay. So I'll pick 3 or 4 good ones. But this is understanding what is happening. And when you have empathy, you lose some fear. And when you focus on what's happening, if you have an opportunity like I do, get your house in order. Now, in our case, 3 weeks ago, when I was diagnosed with stage 4 bone cancer, we were walking out of the hospital. I said to John, we're going to Hawaii. He goes, okay. We just got back from Hawaii on Monday night. And I used that time there. The doctors were a little concerned because I started radiation treatments Tuesday morning that we shouldn't go. But I have this great faith that it was the right thing to do. And it was just what we needed. It gave me time to reflect, to not be in the milieu of all the worries and the doctor's appointments. And I took care of things while we were gone. But I came back ready to focus on this illness. Now, what I'm doing for palliative care, and palliative is basically pain management. So I got a lot of pain in my mouth. And I'm doing radiation treatments. I just finished the second day of two sets of treatments, 2 weeks off, 2 days, 2 sets of treatment, 2 weeks off, 2 days, 2 sets of treatments. And if it works, it will reduce the size of the tumor and reduce the pain, which will not do anything to change the fact that I've still got bone cancer. I will deal with that and focus on it as time goes on. Now, in your case, you need to also think about, I was beyond being a guardian conservator, I ran the trust department for a major bank. And I got to tell you, if you don't have your financial house in order, please do so. Do you need a will? Do you need a trust? Get an advance directives. I have watched families scream at each other, deciding what we should do for mother. When if mother had just said, I could have picked up the document and said, this is what your mom wants, and this is what we'll do. But if you don't say, if you don't get things in order, it's a lot of work. When I would often work with people at the bank, I would work with men or women, and the man would say, my wife's very good. She'll handle everything when I'm gone. And I said, you cannot expect her to be who she's been as you've been alive, as who she will be as you pass, because of the level of grief. So please get your house in order. And the second part of this first one is the power of focus and faith. Is whatever your spirituality, if you have any, it will provide you the courage to face the unknown. For me, it's a Christian background. And so I use Christianity, and I wrote an acronym in 2015 for cancer. I love acronyms. And C stands for compassion for myself and others. A, acknowledgement of the Holy Spirit. N, no fear of the future. C, Christ is my rock, my anchor, my rope. E, every need shall be met. R, rejoice in his grace. That is for me. I will never tell you what to believe or how to have your faith. But if you can find something outside of yourself, you will have more confidence and more peace. And I want you to encourage to reflect on what truly matters and align your energy with these priorities of focus and faith. The next is a power of partnership. Now, no one should face life or death alone. Building strong relationships and leaning on others is essential. Even Batman had Robin. If the Dark Knight needs a sidekick, so do we. Now, my number one sidekick is John. He is an amazing partner of 45 years, and he is crushed by this diagnosis, but he's also there for me. The other one are my support team. And when I was in the hospital in intensive care, I created a poster. I didn't want visitors in my family just because I really, really looked rough. But this explained the what's it called? The buffaloes to everyone. And all these signatures you see, these were all caregivers. And the other side as well. This team of people that cared for me over that 8 days in intensive care loved me and I loved them. The other thing you have to do is take care of your families and friends. Like I said, this has been a devastating diagnosis for them, and I spend a lot of time comforting them. And one of the websites you can use to help everyone get everyone on the same page is called caringbridge.org. caringbridge.org. It's a website where you can post for free, give people updates, they can make notes, and it's really good to help you understand how to work with people. The third thing is have honest relationships with your doctors at whatever level works for you. Now, I want to know what's next. A lot of people don't. Don't judge them. If they just want to take doctor's orders, that's fine. But for me, I've got all my doctor's phone numbers. I can text them. I don't abuse that. That's why they gave them to me. But for me, having this good relationship with my doctors helps me get the care I need. So I want to highlight the importance of asking for help and being there for others, especially during life's most challenging moments. The third point is the power of no. We have to say no to what doesn't serve us, whether it's unnecessary treatments, toxic relationships, or societal expectations. And it can be liberating to say no. Now, you're going to get a lot of advice for treatments outside your medical protocol. Use what serves you and say to people persistent for you to try their cure, and I've heard it all. Try this. I truly appreciate your care and thoughtfulness behind your suggestion. Right now, I'm focusing on a treatment plan that feels right for me, but it means so much to know you're thinking of me. I'm not putting horse ointment in my mouth. Horse ointment in my mouth. I'm not doing it. I don't care how many people you think have been cured by it. It doesn't work for me. So saying no is like a Marie Kondoing in your life. If it doesn't spark joy, let it go. I said no to this latest battle. I'm fine. We'll see where it goes. But I want to empower you to set boundaries and make choices that align with your values. So to conclude, dying well starts with living well. Don't wait until the end to focus on what matters. Build meaningful partnerships and say no to what doesn't serve you. Focus on your priorities and write them down. Choose a path of faith that serves you. Have honest conversations and partner with loved ones and your medical team about your wishes. And practice saying no to things that don't align with your values. Remember, dying well doesn't mean you have to be perfect. It means you leave behind more smiles than sighs. So let's live so fully and love so deeply that when the time comes, we leave behind a legacy of joy, laughter, and a life well lived. Back to you, Tim.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Vicky. That was wonderful. Now we get to go into the question and answer session. So let me change up my here. We have multi-speaker here. And who is our first speaker for tonight? I mean, our first questioner. Sorry about that. Anyone? Anyone got their hand up? Sandra, you're leaning forward.
Yeah, I'm never shy.
That'll cost you, Sandra, but you win. You win for being the first one to ask a good question.
And I've always wanted to know what to say when someone tells you their news.
What works for me is not your story. Oh, my sister has cancer, or I lost my mother to cancer. What works for me is, I'm so sorry. How are you doing? That works. Everything else. I remember the first time I was young, when I was young, I had a catch and release program going with men, and it's like 21 years old and out with this great guy. I loved him. And we went to a dinner party, and there was a beautiful girl there. And he was all eyes on her. We did not make it as a couple, actually, in this long. But anyway, Daniel had just lost his best friend to cancer. So Daniel was a little older, maybe 28, 29. He was devastated. And I remember this girl came up, the really pretty one came up and started telling this long-winded story about someone that she knew who had lost someone. And it was so, for me, tone deaf that, hey, maybe if you'd said less than more, it would have mattered. So I'm sorry. How are you doing? Are you okay? I'm okay. But I don't like yes, no questions. So rather than say, do you need anything? I don't need anything. No, I don't have to think about that. But when you say, how are you doing? That makes me think, and I can give you an answer to that. Hope that helps.
So, Vicky, I have a question for you.
Sure.
So now you've been around the world, you've seen lots of big things. What is the most important thing that you can do outside of comforting others to share your life experience?
The reason I did this, Tim, my cancer journey, I did do a TEDx talk on my first cancer with the radiation, but all these surgeries have been kind of on the down low. And I decided, and I've heard, if I had a buck every time somebody told me how courageous I was, how brave, how strong, I'd have a lot of bucks. And I know I am facing this. This is not a joke. This is not like, for all of you, I'm strong and brave and I'm going to get off this call and fall apart. This is how I see life. And I think people need to know that it's possible to face dying with grace. I've got a family. I've got 4 children, 8 grandchildren, 4 great-grandchildren, and they're all devastated. They're all broken. And so I have to take care of them too. So I have to be careful. Like I said, I can be a little snarky about all this. And they can't imagine their life without me. But everyone who has lost someone who has died, you may never get over it. But if you can remember all the joy they bring to you, all the things that they've done. My mother, Dead Rita. Okay, I'm showing the book again. Dead Rita's Wisdom. Simple
There you
words to
go.
help you live an ordinary life. On Amazon. My mother, Rita, was the most incredible woman in my life. And she has been gone for 28 years. I miss her every single day. So I don't think that we can get over it. I've often said I would never trade this level of love for not knowing this level of grief. God, I'm lucky. Not everyone had a mother that was so incredible. but many of us have someone that has died that we miss every day. And so I bring my story to the public. It's not going to do anything for my business. People are going, I don't know if I want to hire Vic. She tick, tick, tick. I know. But I think it is a kind of a tick, tick, tick situation. So it's okay. I'm going to kind of slow down. I'm not working as hard. But if I can help people see that there is a way through this, all suffering is impermanent. I focus on my faith. I have great partnerships. I am good at no. In Rwanda, we say, oh yeah, oh yeah. I can say no to anything that doesn't serve me. And when I do, I'm empowered. So, forgot your question, Tim. Did I answer it?
Yeah, you did it. Because this is so big.
It
It's
is.
just so big. And I mean, everyone has lost somebody, but you coming to grips with this in your own way, the strength, the strength that you're showing it, I mean, it's it's hard because, like you said, you miss your mom all the time, and it's so hard in that moment not to take that in and remember all the people that have gone forward too. And I'm not saying that you're there in the place that everything's about to end, but your strength, my gosh, you inspire everyone despite all this. And I have to say that just seeing this that you offer, you're probably one of the strongest people I think I've ever met.
Mm.
And it's a shame it's just on virtual like this. And I'm sure everyone in the room right now can agree with me on that. Because you got people in here that have been celebrating you for a while, from what
Yeah,
I
yeah,
understand.
so I work in Rwanda, and in 1994, a genocide happened when 1 million people died in 100 days and the world turned its back. When I go to Rwanda, there's not a person I meet that has not suffered. And the suffering and the loss is different in many ways because of the gruesome and horrible way people died. But when I got to speak at the United Nations in 2006, I came up with, well, actually, in 2006, my dad died. And there was an event that night at the Art Museum for Women, Girls Inc., which teaches young girls to be strong, smart, and bold. Now, my dad was not my favorite person in the world, but he made me strong, smart, and bold. So he died that morning, and I said to John, I want to go to this event tonight because I want to honor my father. So I went. Now, the thing you cannot say at an event when you've got two tables of people is, how are you? Good, my dad died today. Didn't tell a soul. Just didn't seem right. Got home, had a wonderful night, was honored to be honored by Girls Inc. as a strong, smart, and bold woman. And I wrote to my guests and I said, I want you to know my dad died this morning, but he made me strong, smart, and bold. And a friend who was sitting next to me wrote back to me. He goes, Vicky, I never would have guessed, but you honored your father more by your action than your grief. And that became my call. When I went to Rwanda, when I was at the United Nations speaking 2 months later, I used that expression that the people of Rwanda honor those who have died more by their action than their grief. And not all of them can do it. But if we can, we should. And so for me, if I am remembered by anyone, honor me through your actions. Sarah Neely, aka Sister Madugadu, wrote to me today that she was thinking about doing something, and I came into her head and she said, well, I knew you would want me to do this. That fills my heart with joy. So honor me someday, sooner or later, by your action more than your grief. I'm kind of funny. If you remember a joke I told and that makes you laugh, that makes me happy. Because as I like to say, what doesn't kill me makes me funnier. So I'm a frickin' laugh riot right now. Anyway, there you go.
Thank you. No. All right. So next question. Who's up? Annabelle?
I'm
Annabelle.
I just want to say that, Vicky, you've inspired me since I met you on that treadmill. You're funny. You kept me going. We've both been through it, but like you said, just got to keep going.
Annabelle, and I look at your life and everything that has happened since we were on those treadmills trying to rehab from heart issues, as they like to call them. And you have been remarkable in your growth, in the love of your son. And happy anniversary, by the way. I saw you were just celebrating an anniversary with Mark.
Oh, no, that wasn't. That was just an Lego did a Mother's Day thing.
It was lovely. So
Yeah.
it's great when you go through something with someone, you get to watch them
Yeah.
years later, because that was in 2013 when that happened to us.
Yeah. 13, 14. Yeah.
Yeah. And we were there. We were the only two women. This is a bad thing. So cardio rehab is, I had a stent put in my heart. I had the Widowmaker heart attack, lived through that. And then I'm told to have 36 cardiac rehab appointments. I'm like, 36? By the way, why is everything 36 treatments with doctors? It'll be 30. I want to look at it and go, you made that up. It's not, I don't know. Anyway, so here I am on the treadmill, working out. It's all me and a bunch of, at the time I was in my 50s, so it was a bunch of 70-plus-year-old men sitting on recumbent bikes, just barely moving. And Annabelle and I are killing it on the treadmill. And I said to the nurse, I said, if heart disease is the #1 killer of women since the early 1900s, where are all the women? And
Dead.
she said, Vic, after a woman has a heart event, they're too busy to go to rehab. So that was like, okay, that's it. I became a speaker for Go Red. It's like, we need to take care of ourselves, however that looks. For me right now, it's pain medication. And can I just give a hallelujah to some good pain meds? I'm serious.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So do what takes care of you, but many of us don't. We whine, we worry, we stop, we forget. That heart attack and all that. That came out of the blue. I was going to boot camp, I was working out, and I had this massive heart issue. But you know what that did? A year later, when I got cancer, I could face it.
Yep.
I was like, all right, I just got through a heart attack. What's this? So if I always say, so when I got married, I was 24, John was 42, and his kids were 12, 14, 16, and 18. We had full custody. I'd never been a parent, didn't want to be a parent, and God goes, I'll give you 4. And sure enough, he did. But here's my mantra, and I swear to God, I mean it. If I can raise 4 teenagers at 24, I can do anything. I mean it. That was a hell of a lot harder than even this, because I didn't have any resources. I couldn't go to Dead Rita. Dead Rita did not want me to marry John. So when things got tough, I couldn't call her, because if I called her, you know what she would have said? Come home, come home. And I would have gone. Instead, I used all the wisdom that she taught me, and I stayed and I worked it out. And because I did that 45 years ago, honestly, I believe I can do anything today, including facing this battle. Thanks, Annabelle. Good to talk to you.
Now, I got to go now and pick Jory up, but it's
All
good
right.
seeing you, and you know where I am.
I do. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Annabelle.
Thanks.
All right, who's next? You only got the hand up?
Michael? Did you?
Sure. Vicky, thank you so much for sharing your story. Very inspiring. Just listening to you is just a reminder to myself that I'm not alone in this journey. And it just sort of reaffirms my belief in how to live my life, and death is part of it. And I just want to thank you very much for sharing your story. I think it's the power of the story. And how are you sharing this story again, and sort of how and when?
Well, I've been thinking about doing something about this.
Hmm.
And then I got the invitation from Tim. I don't know when and where the world needs it. I definitely share it one-on-one. Where I go, I try to take joy. There was a woman, I had my radiation treatment today. I was coming down the elevator. She got on another floor, and she leaned. She had her head against the door frame, and she had her hand up, and I have nails. No, she had nails. They were all this long. They were decorated. They were insanely cool. And she was obviously in pain, not physical pain, it was mental. And as we landed on the first floor, I touched her shoulder and I said, I don't know what's going on with you, but your nails are insanely cool. She burst out laughing. And I said, own it, sis, just own it. And we walked out of the elevator together. I have cancer. Cancer does not have me. I remember once years ago, I called a prayer line. And the first thing the guy said was, when I said I have cancer, he goes, cancer's a thief. God, that's what it is. It steals our hopes and dreams and plans. But you just have to take it for what it is and then fight it like you can. And we are not alone. And if I can, I'm not actively out there trying to change lives or anything like that woman in the elevator. I had to tell, I was going to give her a compliment. The fact that she was such a wreck, but the smile and she was with her husband, and they both started laughing. And I know it lifted her spirits. So I don't know how, and I didn't say anything. And I had an ice pack on my face because it was hurting. And I didn't say anything to her. And by the way, I have cancer. And so I want you to know that nobody cares. And I don't mean that in a negative way. Everyone has their own battle. And I don't think we should lead with it, but it informs us about what's next. I wake up. If I have a good night's sleep, I'm thankful. The fact that I can do this tonight, I am thankful. I'm not eating. I can't chew food. My biggest fear, I was talking to the social worker, my biggest fear of anything, it's not pain, it's losing my damn teeth. If I lose my upper teeth, game's over. And the trouble is the cancer's in the bone, and so it's loosening the implants. And it's like, I will hold those things out there to talk before I'm not talking. You know I mean it, Julie. You know I mean it. I swear to God, I'll hold on and go, okay, I just want to say one more thing. So we'll see. But I'm dealing with that as well. And I'll cross that bridge when it comes.
And you will.
Humor is infectious.
Yes,
It
you
is.
will. You
I will.
definitely will. Yes.
Well, I have a very difficult question for Vicky because I've known you for a long time. I fell in love with your Rwanda story about the brick.
Ah,
You've given so many great speeches on a wide variety of topics, and now you've got even more to say. But what has been your favorite speech that you've ever given?
whenever I can talk about dead Rita, I'm in heaven. Not literally, obviously, but I loved her and her wisdom. And when my book first came out, I held what were called wisdom circles. And I would invite a group of speakers to get people together, and we would talk, and I would give them headlines from the book and ask them what it meant to them. And there's a chapter in the book called Take Your Art to the World. And I handed it, it was random. I handed it to a woman and she opened it. And I explained the story is my mother was an artist, and she was an artist that was not celebrated. Her mother, she was the opposite of her mother. She decided not to become her mother, thank God, at 4 years old and became the greatest mother. But she was an artist, and her mother put her down about her art. But she was fabulous in all mediums. And my nephew, Josh, she went to go see him when he's a little boy, and Josh had an artistic streak. And Josh, I just saw him when I was back in Fort Wayne a couple of weeks ago, and we talked about it again. They were sitting, my mother was dying. She went back, she lived with us. She went back to Fort Wayne one last time to see the kids and my brother and his wife. And mother and Josh were sitting on the couch, and 10 years old. And grandma, my mother, said to Josh, Josh, I have hidden my art from the world. Take your art to the world. And Josh became a world-renowned artist. So what are we hiding? What don't we take to the world? In my case, it's my voice. I bring it when I can. So anyway, I handed this woman this Take Your Art to the World card, and she burst into tears. And she said, I'm an artist, and I was so afraid to take my art to the world, and now I will do it. So whenever I can, and I call my mother Dead Rita, not just because she's dead, but because she had a battle with cancer. And people would say, how's your mother? She's doing okay. How's your mother? Oh, there's my daughter, Chris. Hello, Hunter. Is that Chris's iPad all along? Tara, come off mute. Tara. She'll come off mute in a minute. What was I saying?
You're talking about Rita.
Yeah, I know I'm always talking about Rita. Lost
Why
it
she's
all.
called Dead Rita.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's going to get worse as I get older. Anyway, people would ask me, how's your mother? Oh, she's in remission. Oh, she's had surgery. And then she died. And people would say, how's your mom? And they didn't know. And I'd say, dead. Which is a horrible, shocking thing to say to anybody. But I didn't know what else to say. And John would be standing next to me, and he loved my mother, but he'd had it up to a year. And one day I said that to someone, he smacked my arm and goes, your mother's dead? I go, you didn't hear? Let me tell you about Dead Rita. And then she became Dead Rita. She's still Dead Rita. She'll always be my mother. Mother's Day is coming up again Sunday. And I scared Tara off the call. I am so sorry to do that. What are you going to do? But she'll always be a part of my life, and she'll always be someone that I can refer to and get courage. And I know how proud she would be of me, because she did not have the courage to face this the way I did. Wouldn't even say the word. Would not say the word cancer. And I made an acronym for it. So there you go, cancer. Back at you. Does that help, Sandra?
Yes. Yes.
Like you said, it is a thief. It is a thief. That's exactly
There's my
right.
girl. She's back. Hunter.
What?
I'd like to introduce you to my daughter, Tara Louise Neiman, my love of my life. I met her when she was 17 years old and I was 23, and we got married. She was 18, I was 24, and she accepted me as her parent. I wasn't her mom.
That's
She had a
tough.
great mom, but I've been her parent for the last 45 years, and it's been my absolute joy. She's my confidant. She's my ride or die. I say anything to this girl. We complain about her dad together, and it's all good. So, and I get to see her in July. We're going back to New Jersey to celebrate our 45th wedding anniversary and renew our vows. And Tara, my girl, is in charge of all the events. I just say something to her like, I need hair and makeup. She goes, I'm on it. So anyway, thanks for coming, Hunter. How much of this were you on?
Oh, the whole thing.
Oh, I didn't know Chris's iPad was Zoom. Now you're Zoom user.
Yes, I know now because I couldn't get the microphone to work. I don't know.
All right. Well, you're there now.
Thank
She,
you.
Love you.
she did come back in. She definitely did that.
Hey,
I
Hunter,
did.
do you have a question for me?
No, 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 not really.
How are we doing on this journey together?
Well, you know me. I'm a Cancer, so I'm a very sensitive.
She meant the sign.
Yeah, Yeah, my astrological sign is Cancer, so I'm very sensitive. And so every time she'd call me, or even not when she wouldn't call me, I would be crying, basically, at the thought of losing her. And she talked to me one day, and she said when Rita was dying in her arms that she never once cried until the moment she died. And because she celebrated her life for everything that she had left. And that kind of resonated with me in the fact that, I want to be present for everything, even though we're 3,000 miles away. I still talk to her on the phone almost every day. And I don't want to be crying on the phone every time I talk to her. So, it kind of hit me really hard that, you're still here. You're still here.
Still talking.
So, yeah, that helped me a lot.
I'm glad, Hunter. I love you so much.
I love you more.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Thanks for being here tonight.
Of course.
It
Yes,
is
definitely.
it is
Thank you
free
so
and there's
much.
no food. I'm sorry for those two things.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I can't figure out how to do the virtual cuisine yet. So
Yeah.
it
Well,
is,
she's a vegan, so she throw you another curveball on that one.
well, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Jackie's got her hand up. So Jackie.
Vicky, thank you for your courage, for your honesty, for your wisdom. Thank you for that. Would you please describe a perfect day for you?
I can go into detail, but the first thing that comes to my mind, because I'm in so much pain, is a pain-free day is the perfect day. And I got a new medication today that's supposed to help. It's long acting. So just in a short answer, pain-free. Not worrying about my mouth, not hurting. A long answer, I get up early with John. He makes me the perfect latte. We sit in what's called the prayer room, a room in our home that's really lovely. And we sit and chat. We talk to the cats. And then I wander into my office a little late, get all dressed up because that's how I roll. Wander into my office, go through emails, get on calls with my dear friend like Sandra Savage. On a regular basis, we chat. And check on John during the day. He's 86. He's obviously doing better than I can. And with this new drug I'm on, I can't drive. So now, Tara, my wings are clipped. No more dog off a leash. Now he's got to drive me everywhere. You think he's going to take me to TJ Maxx? Do you think he'll do it?
Not a chance.
Not a chance. So John drives me everywhere I need to go. And then I come back down and I work some more. And then at night we have dinner together. We have happy hour. We started happy hour during COVID. It's like, why are old people doing happy hour? I know why old people do happy hour now. I love happy hour. Trouble is, I'm not drinking. I'm not really eating. So we just sit there together. It's so companionable. I think that's the right word. And then we go to bed and get up, rinse, lather, repeat. Perfect day. Short answer, no pain. Long answer, being with John all day is everything for me.
Thank you.
Thank
Tell
you,
me,
Jackie.
Jackie, what's your perfect day?
My perfect day would be a very restful sleep and being able to wake up and not having an agenda, not having to go that list of things to do, where you are free to explore, to do something different, to try new things, to go where you want to go or don't want to go. Um, so I think right now I am dying to be bored.
What a
Well,
place to be.
I have
Dying
a
to be
rule.
bored. Wow.
You know, you got a list of stuff to do. You break it down into the must do, should do, if I get around to. Now, I only do the must do stuff. I don't have enough energy to do anything else. So if I do a must do thing and get it done, that's a successful day. I got lots of stuff on that list, never going to get to it. But if it's not a must do, doesn't need to get done. Good luck with your agenda free days, my friend. I wish you many.
Thank you. Thank you. I can appreciate a little bit of your journey having walked that path.
Oh, so you know. May I ask Julie Resnick, describe your perfect day?
It would entail sunshine, coffee, dogs, photography, partnership, relationships, and just movement and not taking my physicality for granted, and just being present in community and trying to make a difference. Itafari by Itafari.
Brick by brick. Hey, would you talk about your work? This is how we met. I am not taking note. Don't make me explain it.
Come on, Julie,
This
share.
is
Come
Come
on,
on.
not
Julie.
about me. This is not about me.
No, I want to celebrate the good work you've done in the world, which is what brought us together.
Well, that is true.
So go ahead.
Oh my goodness. Well, I guess we met. When did we meet? Was it about 2006-ish? I had done a photo voice project in Uganda, and for those of you not familiar with photo voice, it's a methodology of photography that gives people a chance to use their own voices. In this case, it stands for Voicing Our Individual and Collective Experiences. I went to Uganda, worked with girls who were orphaned by AIDS, gave them a camera and 24 hours to document what was important to them, as opposed to me coming into this village taking photos of what it looks like through a foreign eyes. So it really puts the girls in the center of their own universe and allows them become subjects, I mean, creators as opposed to subjects. And so that got some press, I guess, in the Oregonian, and Vicky's work got press, and someone put us together. I don't know if it was Mercy Corps or whoever, but God bless them for making that. Oh, did we lose connection?
No, you're
Okay.
good.
Okay. And so, one of the greatest gifts about that project was connecting up with Vicky, and we were in better touch then than we have been over the last few years. But you have always, I've held you in such great admiration, respect. I think your humor, your approach, your walk, your talk, you empower everybody around you. Everybody leaves in a better place than when they started. And ironically, I don't think this call is an exception to that at all. I think you're an energy giver, even in your dark days. And I think you're just such a gift. And I think we were really connected when you did the Dead Rita book, when that was first being launched. And didn't people give you a hard time about the title? Didn't they want sort of a softer, maybe Rita has passed away title? And you
Yeah,
said, no,
dear
that's not.
mother. I go, I'm sorry. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. My marketing was poor. Thank God Itafari landed better than Dead Rita. But I didn't, you write a book to make a difference. And I was giving a percentage of the proceeds to Itafari. And I thought it would be like this huge bestseller. Because who doesn't need wisdom? Didn't work out that way. But the book has touched thousands of people's lives. And they've told me like that woman just sitting in a wisdom circle. So, but Julie, I thank you for sharing your story. The work you do and the work you did was so amazing to me because you were boots on the ground. You really got in there and you made a huge difference in the world.
Well, it's about pursuing your passion, whatever anyone's passion is like you said, just carpe diem, and time goes, and just, yeah. So anyway, it was a gift to be connected, and it still is, and I value your friendship, and you've always been a rock star, and you always will be. So there you go.
Thank you, my
Thank you,
friend.
my friend.
I will carry you around with me and I will ask you for personal endorsements at every talk I do for them.
I'll do everything except hair and makeup.
Yeah. Hey, do you. You do you.
I'll take you to TJ Maxx though.
Oh, you come from the coast to take me to TJ Maxx.
I
I
would.
will cook a dinner for you.
Excellent. We'll be
All
there.
right, we're on it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Tim, back to you.
That's all right. Then we're getting in our last 3 minutes because we want to give everyone back their time. I have one more question for anyone out there. Of course, I'm detecting a definite African connection of people who have been doing big things. And I guess the person that you call Sister Madugadu
Yes.
has been very quiet. And did you
So I
want
love
to ask her one more question to bring her up
Yes.
we can finish things up.
All right, Sister Madugadu.
Yes,
And the
ma'am.
reason she's called Sister Madugadu is so in Rwanda, they have something called Umuganda, which is on the last Saturday of the month, everyone cleans their community. So a neighborhood is called a Madugadu. And Sarah and I, we met in Rwanda. She came from London because of my work. We fell in love as friends. And, we love to speak Kinyarwanda. And she loved, I mean, loved the word Madugadu. So I had to make her Sister Madugadu. So, Sister Madugadu,
Yes.
what is the greatest lesson you learned from your work in Rwanda?
For me, which you sort of touched on already, is the power of now, of being in the place that you are and not thinking what I should be doing, what I should have done. It's focusing on where you are and making the impact where you are right now. So when we were in Rwanda on the side of a road, with a broken down car or something, it wasn't thinking, man, I wish we could be at the next event on time, or if we had stopped to get gas, we wouldn't have run out of gas or something like that. It was making the most of the moment of where we were, even when it wasn't the way that we thought it was going to go, and impacting the people and focusing on them who were there in front of us, not thinking, oh, we're late, we should be doing something else. And I've tried to focus on that, especially when I met Vicky. I didn't have any children at the time. And now I have a almost 12-year-old next month. And throughout the day, I'll be thinking like, oh, I wish I should do that. And I think, nope, Curtis is here in the room with me and I need to focus on him. It's not about what meeting I have tomorrow at 8 a.m. Even though I know that that's important because work does pay the bills, but he's here now in the room and needs my attention.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
that
Well,
was
we
something.
were trying to go to Rwanda last year. We didn't make it. I miss being in Rwanda with you. I have literally, I should wear adult diapers when Sarah and I are together. I laugh so damn hard. I can't stand it. I can't catch my breath. And dumb me, we were texting each other on this trip, sitting next to each other in a room. I got home, I had a $1,300 mobile bill. 'Cause I did not know that those texts were costing. I'd pay it all again.
Yeah.
Just to have those laughs. I wouldn't do it
And things
twice.
that other people would never think of. Who would eat shrimp in a landlocked country?
We tried.
And the two of us ordered it
That
for
was
dinner.
bold. That
was-
was bold. Wow.
We took one sniff of it and went, no. Oh yeah. Okay, there you go, Tim.
Thank you. I appreciate it. All right, then. Let's give our celebrated speaker one last round of applause for tonight. Thank you so much, Vicky. You are fantastic. I know we've all been blessed once again by what you've given us tonight. and you transcended really everything that I think you wanted to say. I really, really think you did that. And thank you so much. And now here with this, going out to YouTube, going out to Spotify, going out to Apple Podcasts, you've achieved one other level of immortality now. So hey, you're there. And would you be would you be amiable to the giving me about 15 more minutes after this so we can do an extra connected to this? Do you have the time?
I do.
Okay. All right then. So let's go ahead and finish things up. Thank you so much, everyone, for being with us tonight in the audience. Again, thank you for the wonderful gift that is Vicky tonight. You know that we have had with her tonight and everything that she's given. Thank you so much. Thank you, Annabelle. Thank you, Vicky. Thank you, Jackie, Chris, Tanya, Gail, Julie, Linda, Michael, Sandra, and Sarah. And I think I've got everybody. I don't know. And Gail.
But-
Don't want to forget Gail. Thank
And you
you.
got
And
Tara,
Tara.
Huh?
my Tara girl, Miss
And
Zooey,
Tara, yes. And thank you so much.
2026.
Yes, everyone, thank you so much for this. Our next engagement room will be on the 20th of this month. We had a cancellation from someone, so we're working with a pastor who runs a local food bank here in Southern Illinois to kind of give them some press to build some things up. And I hope you all will come back and visit us again. And again, if anyone is interested in speaking like this is the venue for you. I offer that to you for free to give you a place for you to speak with an active audience, and you've been a great audience. So thank you very much and have a fantastic night.
Thank you all.
Thank you,
Love you.
Vicky.
Thank
Love you
you.
all.